As Marcus Aurelius once said, "No one can hurt you without your consent. You're harmed the moment you believe you are." In Stoicism, it's understood that when someone makes a rude comment, the event itself is neutral, neither inherently good nor bad. It carries no emotional weight until you assign meaning to it. It's your perception of the event that either upsets you or leaves you at peace. That's why Marcus Aurelius also mentioned in his Meditations that you always have the choice to form no opinion. There's no need to get upset or trouble your soul with things beyond your control. These things don't demand your judgment. Leave them alone. When will you stop choosing to be sad or unhappy? The Stoics understood that our emotional reality is shaped by our choices and the way we perceive the world. You can view a personal setback as an unfair blow and stay trapped in sadness, or you can see it as an opportunity to grow and learn, thereby adopting a more empowered mindset. This demonstrates that the same event can lead to entirely different experiences depending on one's mental strength. Marcus Aurelius' Stoic principle remains vital. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. In this exploration, we delve into the wisdom of Stoic philosophers who believed that true emotional mastery wasn't about suppression, but transformation and understanding. Why do we often feel controlled by emotions rather than controlling them? The Stoics provided a powerful answer. It's not the emotions themselves that unsettle us, but our judgments about them. Marcus Aurelius famously stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." This foundational idea forms the core of Stoic emotional resilience. The Stoics viewed emotions as products of our judgments, meaning we have the ability to change how we respond to the world by altering our perceptions. The first step is recognizing that your initial reaction isn't your final emotional response. How often do you react instantly without taking a moment to pause and reflect? The Stoic practice involves taking that moment, allowing yourself to respond rationally rather than impulsively. Imagine facing life's challenges with a calm and untroubled mind. This isn't an impossible ideal, but an achievable reality through the disciplined practice of Stoic thinking. It takes effort to examine and manage the beliefs behind your emotional reactions. Have you ever reflected on what triggers your emotional responses? Often it's a deeply ingrained belief or judgment that, when questioned, can be understood and shifted. The Stoics teach that by understanding the roots of our emotions, we can begin to control their effects on us. How do you deal with negative emotions? The Stoic approach includes a technique called cognitive distancing, seeing your emotions from an outside perspective to reduce their intensity. Have you ever experienced a shift in perspective that changed a difficult situation? This is the essence of Stoic emotional resilience, transforming challenges into opportunities for growth. What steps can you take today to begin mastering your emotions? Start by journaling daily. Write down moments when your emotions overwhelmed you and explore alternative ways to view the situation. Over time, this will help you develop a more rational, controlled response. The Stoics didn't just theorize about emotional resilience, they practiced it. By incorporating these techniques into your daily life, you can experience the profound stability and contentment that comes from Stoic emotional mastery. Why is anger one of the most disruptive emotions we face? The Stoics considered anger a major barrier to wisdom. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, called anger a brief madness that sets the soul ablaze and leads to regretful actions. To cultivate a Stoic mindset towards anger, one must first understand its roots. Anger often arises when we perceive an injustice or when our expectations aren't met. The Stoics encourage us to question the validity of our expectations and the fairness we seek from the world. By aligning our expectations with the reality of human nature and life's unpredictability, we can lessen the frequency and intensity of anger. How can you apply Stoic principles to daily frustrations? One useful technique is the premeditation of evils, where you mentally rehearse potential annoyances before they occur. This prepares you to handle them calmly and rationally when they do happen, reducing the impact of anger. In moments of anger, the Stoics also suggest using a technique called the view from above. This involves imagining yourself from an external perspective, seeing the bigger picture, and recognizing the temporary nature of the situation. This broader view helps soften the emotional sting and fosters a more peaceful response. By adopting Stoic practices, you can navigate life with greater emotional resilience, handling setbacks with grace, and transforming challenges into growth opportunities. To manage anger effectively, there are several practical steps we can take as soon as it arises. Immediate actions like deep breathing, counting to 10, or momentarily removing ourselves from the situation help create a buffer. This pause allows us to engage our rational mind and choose a thoughtful response rather than reacting impulsively. By incorporating these Stoic practices into our daily lives, we build a strong emotional defense against anger. This proactive approach not only improves personal relationships by reducing conflict, but also enhances our overall well-being and happiness. Through regular practice, the Stoic mindset towards anger becomes second nature, empowering us to live with greater peace and resilience. Fear, as the Stoics observed, originates from our perception of uncertainty and our struggle to control future outcomes. We often magnify our fears because of a fundamental misunderstanding. We either overestimate the potential dangers of a situation or worry about things beyond our control. For example, fear might arise from concerns over losing security, comfort, or stability, all of which are basic human needs. However, by recognizing and accepting that many of the factors contributing to fear lie outside our influence, we can reduce its impact. According to Stoicism, the key lies in shifting focus from external circumstances, which we cannot control, to our inner responses and actions, which are always within our power. Stoicism teaches that fear is not inherently bad, but becomes problematic when it hinders us from fully engaging with life. Fear can paralyze us, stopping us from seizing opportunities, taking risks, or pursuing our passions. By adopting Stoic flexibility, a mindset that allows us to adjust to changing circumstances, we learn to reframe fear, seeing it not as a barrier, but as an opportunity for growth. This flexibility involves training ourselves to accept the unpredictability of life and managing our emotions and expectations accordingly. One powerful Stoic technique is the regular reflection on life's impermanence and the inevitability of change. This practice, often called premeditatio malorum or the premeditation of evils, encourages us to contemplate potential challenges or losses in advance. By doing so, we mentally prepare ourselves for life's fluctuations, allowing us to respond with equanimity when they occur. For instance, consider reflecting on the impermanence of wealth, health, or relationships. By recognizing that these aspects of life are not guaranteed, we become less attached to them, which reduces the fear of losing them. This mental exercise builds resilience and makes change a natural part of life, rather than something to be feared. It's similar to the concept of exposure therapy in modern psychology, where gradually facing our fears in controlled and manageable ways helps diminish their intensity. In practical terms, this means confronting situations that make us uncomfortable, but doing so in a step-by-step manner. Over time, this approach not only reduces the fear, but also strengthens our confidence in our ability to handle life's uncertainties. Reflection is at the heart of Stoic practice. By reflecting on past experiences, we gain insight into how we've successfully managed fear and uncertainty before, reinforcing our belief that we can handle future challenges. For example, looking back on a time when you were anxious about a significant change, perhaps starting a new job or moving to a new city, you may realize that your fears were unfounded or that you were able to adapt and thrive. These reflections remind us that we possess inner resources, such as courage and resilience, which can help us overcome future fears. Moreover, reflecting on Stoic principles reminds us that fear is often a product of our imagination. By identifying which fears are rational, those that require preparation, and which are irrational, those that are based on exaggerated perceptions, we regain control over our emotional state. Regular reflection can also act as a corrective lens, helping us discern what truly matters in life and preventing us from being consumed by worries about trivial things. The Stoic approach to fear is not about eliminating it altogether, but about transforming it into a tool for self-improvement. Fear, when embraced mindfully, becomes a catalyst for personal growth. Each time we confront a fear and move beyond it, we expand our capacity for courage and wisdom. In essence, the Stoics view fear not as an obstacle, but as a gateway to living more authentically and fully. By consistently applying these strategies, reflecting on our fears, focusing on what we can control, and embracing life's impermanence, we can transform our relationship with fear. Over time, fear becomes less of a roadblock and more of a teacher, guiding us toward a life lived with boldness, serenity, and purpose. In doing so, we not only enhance our own lives, but also inspire others. When people see us living courageously despite uncertainty, we provide them with a model for overcoming their own fears. This ripple effect can have a profound impact, as our actions serve as a silent invitation for others to live with greater confidence, peace, and clarity. Why do our emotional reactions often escalate situations? Stoic philosophy offers a profound insight. It is not the events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments and responses to them. To master our emotional reactions, Stoicism teaches us to cultivate Stoic acceptance, the understanding that we cannot control external events, but we can always control how we respond to them. By accepting this truth, we liberate ourselves from unnecessary emotional suffering and open the door to greater emotional resilience. At the heart of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, the idea that there are things we can influence and things we cannot. According to Stoic thinkers like Epictetus, our emotions often spiral out of control because we focus too much on what lies outside our control, such as other people's opinions, the outcomes of events, or external circumstances. When we fixate on these uncontrollable aspects, we leave ourselves vulnerable to frustration, anxiety, and distress. Stoic acceptance invites us to shift our attention inward, focusing instead on what we can control: our thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, and actions. This shift in focus is a powerful tool for emotional mastery. When we accept that external events unfold according to the natural order of the universe, whether we approve of them or not, we can approach life with a calm, grounded mindset. The Stoics believed that the universe is rational and operates according to natural laws that are beyond our influence. By embracing this reality and focusing on how we choose to respond, we cultivate a deeper sense of inner peace. One of the most effective ways to practice Stoic acceptance is through daily reflection. This simple yet transformative practice involves reviewing the events of the day, paying particular attention to how we reacted to emotionally charged situations. Were we calm, or did we let anger, fear, or frustration take over? Through reflection, we gain insights into our emotional patterns, allowing us to adjust our responses over time. Self-awareness is crucial here. As we cultivate a habit of reflecting on our emotions and reactions, we begin to notice that many of our emotional responses are automatic and conditioned by past experiences. Recognizing these patterns gives us the opportunity to pause, reconsider our reactions, and choose more constructive responses in the future. For example, if you encounter criticism at work, your immediate emotional reaction might be frustration or defensiveness. However, through Stoic acceptance, you can pause and reflect. Is this within my control? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? By adopting this mindset, you transform potentially negative experiences into opportunities for growth and self-improvement. In moments of heightened emotion, applying Stoic acceptance can be challenging, especially if we are unprepared. Fortunately, Stoic philosophy provides several techniques to help us navigate these situations with greater ease. Pause before reacting. When faced with an emotionally charged situation, give yourself a moment to pause before reacting. This brief pause creates space for reflection and allows your emotional response to settle. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can respond thoughtfully. Deep breathing. Emotions often have physical manifestations, such as a racing heart or shallow breathing. Deep, slow breaths can calm your nervous system and bring you back to a state of balance. As your body relaxes, your mind will follow, making it easier to choose a measured response. Cognitive reframing. Stoics practiced a technique called premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This involves mentally rehearsing potential challenges or setbacks before they happen. By anticipating difficulties, you prepare yourself emotionally, so if they do occur, you're less likely to be overwhelmed. Cognitive reframing also helps you reinterpret events in a way that reduces their emotional impact. For instance, instead of seeing a failure as catastrophic, you might view it as an opportunity for learning and growth. Asking Stoic questions. In difficult situations, it can be helpful to ask yourself, how would a Stoic philosopher approach this? Imagining how someone like Epictetus or Marcus Aurelius would respond encourages you to act with wisdom and restraint. This simple mental shift can often diffuse intense emotions and give you a more grounded perspective. As we consistently apply these Stoic techniques, we begin to shift our default emotional responses. Over time, Stoic acceptance becomes less of a conscious effort and more of a natural way of being. Instead of being at the mercy of external events and our conditioned reactions, we gain a sense of mastery over our emotional world. This transformation brings immense benefits, not just for managing day-to-day challenges, but also for navigating life's most difficult moments with grace and resilience. By mastering our emotional responses, we become more adaptable, more compassionate, and more capable of handling whatever life throws our way. The Stoics viewed emotional mastery as a lifelong practice, one that leads to wisdom, inner peace, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Envy can be a consuming emotion, draining our mental and emotional energy. But why does it have such a powerful hold on us? At its core, envy arises when we unfavorably compare ourselves to others, leading to feelings of deprivation, inferiority, and dissatisfaction. The Stoics, ancient philosophers renowned for their wisdom on living a virtuous life, recognized this destructive tendency and taught that envy stems from focusing too much on external circumstances rather than internal growth. The Stoic perspective emphasizes that external comparisons distract us from cultivating our own virtues and achieving inner peace. To break free from envy, we must shift our focus inward, away from what others have, and towards self-improvement and gratitude for our own journey. Stoicism encourages us to take control of what we can, our thoughts, emotions, and actions, rather than being swept away by external comparisons, which are largely out of our control. By focusing on our own path, we not only reduce envy, but also gain a deeper sense of contentment and fulfillment. When we engage in constant comparison with others, we are setting ourselves up for emotional turmoil. Whether it's someone else's wealth, success, social status, or possessions. The more we focus on what others have, the more we cultivate envy within ourselves. This endless cycle distracts us from the unique aspects of our own lives and prevents us from appreciating our personal accomplishments. According to Stoic philosophy, external goods, like wealth, fame, and status, are not inherently bad, but they are transient and ultimately out of our control. They are indifference, meaning they don't contribute to our true happiness. The Stoics remind us that lasting fulfillment comes from within, from living a life of virtue, wisdom, and emotional resilience. External comparisons do not bring peace. Instead, they breed dissatisfaction and undermine our sense of self-worth. The antidote to envy lies in focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, choices, and efforts to become better individuals. When we shift our attention toward personal growth, we become less concerned with the external markers of success. Instead, we begin to appreciate our own progress, however small or unique it may be. This change in mindset fosters self-compassion and allows us to take pride in our individual journey, independent of others. By consistently seeking to improve ourselves, whether in character, wisdom, or emotional resilience, we start to feel a sense of internal satisfaction that can't be shaken by the successes or possessions of others. This internal contentment frees us from the negative effects of envy and cultivates a deeper appreciation for our own lives. Now that we understand the Stoic approach to envy, let's explore some practical strategies for applying these principles in everyday life. Practice. Gratitude. One of the simplest and most powerful ways to combat envy is through the practice of gratitude. When we regularly reflect on what we're thankful for, we naturally shift our focus from what we lack to what we have. This mental shift reduces the space for envy to thrive. Gratitude helps us appreciate the abundance in our own lives, whether it's the love of family, the joy of friendships, or the satisfaction of personal achievements. As we cultivate gratitude, we become more content and less concerned with comparing ourselves to others. Recognize the impermanence of external goods. Stoicism teaches that external goods like wealth, fame, and possessions are fleeting. The pursuit of these things doesn't lead to lasting happiness, as they can be lost or taken away at any moment. Reflecting on the temporary nature of external success weakens envy's hold on us. By directing our energy toward internal qualities that are enduring, such as wisdom, virtue, and emotional resilience, we can focus on goals that provide a more lasting, and meaningful sense of fulfillment. Develop self-awareness. Self-awareness is a crucial component of overcoming envy. By being mindful of the moments when we feel envious, we can confront these feelings more rationally. Stoic reflection encourages us to pause when we experience envy and to question the value and validity of our emotions. Are we envious because we truly desire what someone else has, or are we simply reacting to societal expectations? When we take a step back and evaluate these emotions, envy loses its power over us. This process of self-awareness builds emotional resilience and allows us to respond to envy in a more measured, thoughtful way. Celebrate others' success. Another powerful way to dissolve envy is by learning to celebrate the success of others genuinely. Envy can often create distance and resentment in relationships, but by practicing joy for others' achievements, we not only strengthen our connections, but also reduce the emotional sting of envy. Stoicism teaches us that another person's success does not diminish our own worth. By adopting this mindset, we can shift from competition to cooperation, realizing that there is enough success and happiness to go around for everyone. In today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, developing patience can seem like a monumental task. With instant gratification at our fingertips, whether it's through the internet, same-day delivery services, or on-demand entertainment, our tolerance for delays and setbacks is shrinking. Yet the Stoics, ancient philosophers who lived in a world far slower and less interconnected than ours, believed patience was essential for a life of virtue and fulfillment. Their insights on patience remain profoundly relevant today, offering timeless strategies for cultivating this elusive quality. The Stoics, including prominent figures like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, argued that impatience arises from a misunderstanding of the world and our role within it. They taught that much of our frustration stems from unrealistic expectations about how things should go, coupled with an overestimation of our control over external events. We live in a society that often promotes the illusion of complete control over outcomes, other people, and even time itself. When reality doesn't align with these illusions, impatience flares up. One of the fundamental Stoic ideas is that there are two domains: what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, and what we cannot control, external events, the behavior of others, and outcomes. Impatience tends to arise when we try to exert control over things outside of our sphere of influence. By recognizing this distinction and focusing on what is within our control, we can develop greater patience and emotional resilience. For the Stoics, patience wasn't merely a passive virtue. It was an active expression of wisdom and self-discipline. Patience involves accepting the natural flow of events and understanding our limited role within the greater order of things. The Stoics believed in logos, a concept that signifies the rational order of the universe. By aligning ourselves with this rational order, accepting what we cannot change, and working with the natural flow of life, we cultivate patience. This kind of acceptance doesn't imply passivity or resignation. Instead, it reflects a deeper understanding of life's transitory nature and the futility of resisting inevitable challenges. The Stoics emphasized that true wisdom lies in recognizing that while we cannot control everything, we can always control how we respond. Incorporating Stoic practices into everyday life can help us build patience gradually. Here are some practical techniques to consider. Pause before reacting. One of the simplest yet most effective Stoic strategies is to pause before responding to a stressful situation. This pause, even if brief, creates a space between stimulus and reaction, allowing you to reflect on Stoic principles. Ask yourself, is this situation within my control? Will my frustration change the outcome? Pausing prevents impulsive reactions and allows you to approach challenges with a calm, measured response. Seneca recommended that we act deliberately, with forethought, and not in haste. This mindful approach can diffuse potential impatience, whether in daily interactions or more significant life events. Embrace, meditation, and reflection. The Stoics were avid practitioners of daily reflection. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reminded himself of the fleeting nature of life's difficulties. Reflecting on the impermanence of our frustrations can provide perspective. What seems intolerable in the moment may fade quickly in the grander scheme of things. Meditation, journaling, or simply taking a few moments each day to reflect on the challenges you've faced can cultivate inner calm and resilience. By regularly meditating on the nature of time, change, and impermanence, we come to realize that impatience is often tied to a distorted sense of importance. Many of the things we lose patience over, such as waiting in line or dealing with a delay, are trivial in the broader context of life. Practice, empathy, and understanding. Empathy is another key Stoic tool for cultivating patience. When we step into someone else's shoes and consider their challenges, perspectives, and limitations, we naturally extend more patience to them. The Stoics believed that everyone is engaged in their own internal struggle, trying to navigate life's complexities. By recognizing this shared humanity, we can soften our judgments and become more patient when things don't go as planned. For example, when a colleague makes a mistake or a loved one tests our patience, empathy allows us to respond with understanding rather than frustration. This Stoic practice is not only beneficial for fostering patience, but also strengthens our relationships and fosters a sense of community and interconnectedness. Set realistic expectations. One of the main sources of impatience is the gap between our expectations and reality. The Stoics understood that the world operates according to its own rules, not ours. Setting realistic expectations about how events unfold and how others behave can dramatically reduce impatience. The more we expect the world to conform to our desires, the more impatient and frustrated we become when it doesn't. Instead, the Stoics encourage us to align our expectations with the nature of reality, understanding that delays, setbacks, and challenges are part of life. By expecting less perfection and more imperfection, we foster a mindset of patience and resilience. Finally, the core Stoic strategy for building patience is to focus on what's within our control. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent to life's challenges, but rather learning to direct our energy and efforts wisely. When faced with a situation that tests your patience, ask yourself, what part of this can I influence? What can I let go of? Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This powerful reminder is at the heart of Stoic patience. We find patience by recognizing the limits of our control and embracing the serenity that comes from focusing on our own actions and responses. By practicing these Stoic strategies consistently, you can transform how you experience life's inevitable challenges. Developing patience not only improves your interactions with others, but also leads to greater inner peace, contentment, and resilience. Stoic patience is not about enduring hardships passively, but about cultivating the wisdom and strength to navigate them gracefully. Ultimately, the Stoic approach to patience aligns with the broader Stoic goal of living a virtuous life. a life of tranquility, wisdom, and emotional balance. Patience allows us to move through the world without being overwhelmed by frustration, anger, or disappointment. It offers us the space to reflect, understand, and grow in our fast-paced modern world, where impatience seems to be the default response. The Stoic strategies for cultivating patience can serve as a powerful antidote. They remind us that true strength lies not in rushing through life, but in mastering the art of waiting, accepting, and responding with wisdom. By fostering patience, we align ourselves more closely with Stoic ideals, promoting a life of virtue, tranquility, and deeper fulfillment. Why is courage more than just facing physical challenges? Stoic philosophy teaches that true courage involves confronting not only physical dangers, but also internal battles, facing fear, doubt, and despair. This type of courage requires understanding what is truly worth fearing and what isn't. Guided by reason and wisdom, it's about being ready to endure discomfort and uncertainty for the sake of virtue and personal growth. Stoic courage is about staying true to our principles, even when the situation is difficult. It's not about having no fear. It's about mastering our fear, allowing us to act according to our values, no matter the potential consequences. This form of courage is developed through a deep understanding of our own values and the temporary nature of life's challenges. How can we apply Stoic courage to our everyday problems? One way is to face small fears daily. Whether it's speaking up in a meeting or dealing with a personal conflict, each act of courage builds our resilience, preparing us for larger challenges. Over time, these small actions help us develop a habit of courage that strengthens our character. Another important aspect of building Stoic courage is reflecting on past experiences where we've shown bravery or overcome hardship. Recognizing these moments reinforces our ability to act courageously in the future. This reflection not only boosts our confidence, but also gives us a framework for handling future obstacles. Community also plays a key role in fostering courage. Stoics believed that courage is not just a personal virtue, but a communal one. By drawing strength from others who share our values, we can bolster our own courage. This support makes it easier to stand firm in our convictions and actions, even when facing adversity. By integrating Stoic principles into our lives, we can approach challenges with a balanced perspective, seeing them as opportunities to demonstrate and grow our courage. This mindset shift, from viewing adversity as a threat to seeing it as a chance for growth, captures the essence of Stoic courage. Why do we often struggle to find contentment? According to Stoic philosophy, our discontent stems from misplaced desires and unrealistic expectations of what we think we need to be happy. The Stoics promote a life of simplicity, where true contentment comes not from external possessions but from cultivating inner virtues. By focusing on what is truly essential, we can reduce our wants and find greater satisfaction in life. Contentment in Stoicism is achieved by appreciating what we already have, instead of constantly longing for more. This mindset requires regular self-reflection to differentiate between wants and needs, and to practice gratitude for our current blessings. When we focus on gratitude, we shift from a scarcity mindset, thinking about what's missing, to an abundance mindset, appreciating what we already possess. How can we practically embrace Stoic contentment in our daily lives? One method is through daily meditation, reflecting on the impermanence of material possessions and the lasting value of ethical virtues. These meditations help us detach from things that are temporary and focus more on personal growth and moral excellence. Another practical step is limiting exposure to influences that fuel desire and comparison, such as social media or competitive environments. By setting boundaries around these influences, we can stay focused on our own values and goals, fostering genuine contentment. This practice aligns with the Stoic principle of controlling what's within our power, our attention, and attitude. What role does simplifying our lives play in achieving contentment? Simplification means removing unnecessary distractions and concentrating on what truly matters. This might involve decluttering our physical space, streamlining daily routines, and prioritizing activities aligned with our core values. Simplifying life helps us breathe easier, think more clearly, and appreciate simple pleasures. Through these Stoic practices, we can build a life of contentment, resilient to external pressures and grounded in our deepest values. This contentment is not passive, but an active choice to live a life of simplicity, gratitude, and virtue. By following these steps, we embrace the Stoic ideal of a fulfilled life, grounded in self-sufficiency and serene acceptance. Why is adaptability considered a crucial virtue in Stoic philosophy? Stoicism teaches that the only constant in life is change, and resisting this natural flow only leads to unnecessary suffering. To live harmoniously, we must cultivate adaptability, the ability to respond to life's changing circumstances with composure and wisdom. This Stoic virtue allows us to remain resilient when facing the unpredictable nature of life. Adaptability, in Stoic terms, means being flexible enough to adjust our plans and expectations as situations change. It involves understanding that while we can't control external events, we can control our actions and attitudes. By focusing on how we can adapt rather than resist, we conserve emotional energy and maintain inner peace. How can we cultivate Stoic adaptability in our everyday lives? A helpful practice is regularly reminding ourselves of the impermanence of our current situation. Whether experiencing success or dealing with challenges, recognizing that all conditions are temporary helps us prepare for change. This mindset prevents us from clinging too tightly to any particular state, making adaptation smoother when changes inevitably occur. Another key to developing adaptability is scenario planning, thinking about various possible outcomes and how we might respond to each. This exercise not only reduces anxiety about the unknown, but also equips us with a flexible plan of action that we can adjust as needed. It's a practical application of the Stoic principle of focusing on what we can control. What role does detachment play in enhancing adaptability? Stoics encourage a healthy detachment from specific outcomes. By not tying our happiness or self-worth to a particular result, we remain balanced and ready to adapt. This detachment is not indifference, but rather a strategic non-attachment to the elements of life that are beyond our control. By adopting these Stoic practices, we enhance our ability to navigate life's changes with agility and confidence. Adaptability, as taught by Stoicism, is not about passivity, but about engaging with life actively in a way that aligns with our core principles and values. This approach not only reduces stress, but also increases our effectiveness in both personal and professional endeavors. Why is self-mastery a pinnacle of Stoic philosophy? Stoics believe that true power lies in self-control and mastering our desires and impulses. Self-mastery means aligning our actions with rational thought and virtuous principles, freeing us from the tyranny of unchecked reactions and external influences. This discipline enables us to live in accordance with our true nature, which is rational and inherently good. Self-mastery requires a strong commitment to self-awareness. By regularly observing our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, we can identify patterns that conflict with our values. This ongoing introspection allows us to make conscious adjustments, creating a life that reflects our philosophical beliefs and personal ideals. How can we cultivate self-mastery in daily life? One effective technique is setting daily intentions that focus on virtuous actions and self-discipline. Whether it's practicing patience, generosity, or diligence, each day presents opportunities to strengthen aspects of our character. Over time, these small, consistent efforts significantly enhance our capacity for self-mastery. Another important aspect of developing self-mastery is the Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort. By occasionally choosing to forego pleasures or endure hardships, we train ourselves to remain calm and steady under less than ideal circumstances. This practice reduces our dependence on external conditions and builds resilience, making us more capable of withstanding life's challenges. Reflection plays a crucial role in the journey toward self-mastery. By regularly reflecting on our daily experiences and choices, we can evaluate our progress and recommit to the principles of Stoicism. This reflective process can take the form of journaling, meditation, or meaningful conversations with like-minded individuals, all of which provide valuable insights to fuel personal growth. Embracing these Stoic practices helps us move closer to self-mastery, improving not only our own lives, but also having a positive impact on those around us. The goal isn't to attain perfection, but rather to make consistent, genuine efforts toward a more disciplined and virtuous life. As we grow in self-mastery, we gain a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment, embodying the Stoic ideal of living in harmony with our true nature.